Project MK-Ultra was a series of human experiments conducted by the Central Intelligence Agency from 1953 to 1973, when it was reportedly stopped. Its goal was to create and use methods of mind control, sometimes on people unaware of it. Test subjects were placed in sensory deprivation, given hallucinogenic drugs, allegedly tortured, and even abused sexually as well as mentally. From these experiments, CIA operatives hoped to develop techniques to get criminals and enemy prisoners of war to confess the truth of crimes committed. 1. A number of MK-Ultra experiments were conducted illegally on subjects without their knowledge or consent. Several deaths and lawsuits against the federal government followed. During the Watergate scandal, most of the records of Project MK-Ultra were destroyed, except for a cache of documents later discovered in a different storage location. Further documents were declassified and released in 2001 and 2008. A complete investigation of MK-Ultra is therefore not possible, which has sparked many conspiracy theories to this day. Here are 10 which you may not have heard of. 10. Alcohol was regularly used in MK-Ultra programming. While many have heard of LSD and other powerful hallucinogens being given to MK-Ultra subjects, they were also prompted or perhaps coerced to drink alcohol at various points in time. Alcohol can act as a low-grade truth serum, and it also affects a neurotransmitter called glutamate in the brain. Alcohol intoxication slows down the signals traveling along glutamate pathways, leaving many subjects more open to suggestion. 2. 9-MK-Ultra may be behind the pharmaceutical industry. The widespread prescription of psychotropic medications has drawn criticism from theorists who believe it's a step toward mass mind control. 3. These drugs include Prozac, Ritalin, and Zoloft. Allegedly, the medications curb unruly thought processes and facilitate the effectiveness of propaganda and social engineering. Similar criticisms have been directed at the use of mood-stabilizing drugs and required vaccines. Some in the anti-vaxxer community make the jump into the conspiracy theory that tiny mind control microchips are embedded in people through vaccines. 8. Alien abduction may be a smokescreen for MK-Ultra programming. People who report alien beings abducting them for experimentation may have been taken for mind control operations instead. With the use of drugs, hypnosis, or other methods, MK-Ultra programmers allegedly alter the abductees' unconscious or subconscious minds for their own objectives. Then, false memories of alien abduction are implanted so that the subjects will be discredited once they're returned. Outside of alien abductee circles, no one else is likely to believe the victim's story, even though it's really a false memory. 4. According to some conspiracy theorists, the CIA got the technology for implanting false memories from the reptilian race that supposedly lives in secret locations on Earth. 7. There's a connection between ear candling and MK-Ultra. Ear candling is an alternative medicine practice used to remove excess wax from the ear canal. Some conspiracy theorists report they've become subjects of remote MK-Ultra programming due to implants placed in their ear candles. The implants slipped into place in their ear canals as the candles melted down. They report strange buzzing noises that no one else can hear, headaches, and physical discomfort whenever they encounter information that the MK-Ultra handlers want to steer them away from. One person has reported finding and cutting one of these implants out of an ear candle before getting the chance to use it. The implant was supposedly shaped like a small, round piece of plastic, yet it moved like mercury when placed in a glass jar. Overnight, the implant also somehow dissolved itself and disappeared. The ear candle conspiracy is just one example of how one can supposedly fall victim to MK-Ultra programming from the most unlikely and innocent-seeming sources. 5. 6 instructions for creating a mind-controlled slave. In a book titled The Illuminati Formula to Create an Undetectable Total Mind Control Slave, writers Fritz Springmeier and Cisco Wheeler go into detail about exactly how to become an MK-Ultra handler. PDFs of the book can be found online. Instructions include how to select and torture a victim, how to administer specific drugs, how to use hypnosis and behavior modification, and how to manipulate an MK slave remotely. 6. Exact reasons why such a detailed manual is freely available and who its exact audiences are open to speculation. The writers claim that knowing the step-by-step formula for creating a mind-controlled slave will actually destroy MK-Ultra programming. They also write in the book's introduction that anyone with dissociative identity disorder due to programming is strongly advised not to read it because the consequences could actually be fatal. Early in their book, they indict a long laundry list of people and organizations that allegedly practice MK-Ultra mind control programming. These include the Mormon Church, the Church of Satan, all branches of the U.S. military, the IRS, and many others. 5. The origin of MK-Ultra programming methods depends on who you ask. The extreme trauma, forced drug use, and exploitation of MK-Ultra subjects follows a prescribed set of steps, and there's debate among conspiracy theorists where those steps came from. Some believe the notorious Dr. Joseph Mengele developed them during his tortuous human experiments in Nazi concentration camps during World War II. He then brought his knowledge to the U.S. and shared it with the CIA as part of what's known as Operation Paperclip. Others believe reptilians taught the methods to CIA officials, who then became involved in Project MK-Ultra. Still others believe it's a combination of both. Those who insist MK-Ultra is still going on often tie it to theistic Satanism and its secretive cults, echoing the satanic panic of the 1980s and 1990s. 7. Supposed survivors of mind control-based trauma report that satanic rituals were a regular part of their programming, even including human sacrifices. 4. There's a secret MK-Ultra base underground at Fort Hood, TX. According to YouTuber Katie Groves, the CIA and U.S. military have been conducting MK-Ultra training and ritual abuse on countless children in a subterranean facility located in central Texas. She describes her life spent as an MK-Ultra slave who endured terrible abuse and was forced to carry out the same on other children. The end goal was to train her to become an MK-Ultra programmer and handler. And the underground base at Fort Hood isn't the only one. Everyone has walked over or driven over one at least once in their life, no matter where in the U.S. they're located. Supposedly, these MK-Ultra programming facilities are behind the large number of children who go missing every year. 8. There's a concerted effort to keep the truth covered up by hiding behind a law called the National Security Act. The CIA also reportedly blackmails parents who have committed serious crimes by threatening them with long prison terms unless they sell their children to mind control programmers. 3. MK-Ultra has helped spawn the gang-stalking phenomenon. Some individuals who report they have been gang-stalked claim it began with remote verbal abuse and harassment, where unknown MK-Ultra programmers planted very negative thoughts or insults directly into the victims' brains. The perpetrators could also make them hear the verbal abuse coming from the walls or furniture. For some victims, this escalates into shady, unfamiliar individuals following and threatening them both online and offline in attempts to exert even more mind control over them. The extent of the mind control success depends on the individual. This use of MK-Ultra is reported to be just one of many concerted efforts to manipulate the actions and mental states of the general population. The subjects more likely to be picked for gang-stalking mind control are those more prone to mental dissociation due to a number of factors. 9. These can include a history of childhood trauma, certain mental illnesses, or a lot of time spent in meditation. Mind control handlers consider these types of minds to be the most malleable and therefore the easiest to split into different personalities through continued mental trauma over a long period of time. 2. MK-Ultra may be incorporated into future satellite technology. The U.S. military has reportedly been experimenting with ways to use satellites to manipulate the populations of enemy countries, inducing higher rates of psychological distress or even physical ailments. Other unsettling possibilities include using mind control for desired outcomes of elections on both sides of the aisle. This use of MK-Ultra via satellite could possibly be used to quiet subversives and keep the desired leaders in power. It's especially unsettling to think this might be used to counter supposed thought crime. 10. Another 2 alleged sources of mass mind control are cell phone towers and the electromagnetic pulses used in the HAARP program, which was allegedly used to control weather patterns as well. 1. Facebook, 4chan, and 8chan are rumored to be tools of mind control using subtle versions of the same gaslighting used in MK-Ultra trauma-based conditioning. These popular sites are said to be engineered to alter and control their users' moods, thought patterns, and behavior. The notorious 4chan and 8chan anonymous forums are reportedly secretly owned by the U.S. government, and their content can make some users question their own sanity, even in the face of posted evidence. An unknown number of members on both forums are shills paid to perpetuate this gaslighting. Data scientists have conducted experiments on Facebook users to track how much their moods and interactions on the social media site changed, and the results were startling. Judging from their subsequent Facebook posts, the test subjects displayed a more pessimistic outlook and even seemed more wary of the future. This kind of social media manipulation could potentially become a digital version of racketeering. Some theorists also refer to this type of mind control as psychotronic abuse, attacks, or at the very least manipulation. This refers to the use of certain electromagnetic frequencies that have been scientifically proven to affect the human brain. If the mind control operatives could get enough people thinking and despairing over the world's problems, then the government could present one of their leaders as a solver of those problems if elected to office.